What is up, Auburn fans? How are we doing on this Wednesday night? We are here to talk about the quarterback position for the Auburn Tigers because I feel like that is the hottest topic on the plains right now. Who will be the starting quarterback Saturday night for the Auburn Tigers versus the Kentucky Wildcats? Now, the Auburn Tigers took the practice field yesterday. We heard all the reports. I'm sure you've listened to all the podcasts. Everybody said, well, what happened? Who took the field first, right? And I think in the first two drills, it was Jackson, and then when they went on their little fire drill, and 11 on 11, it was Ashton who was first out, right? So what I take away from this is, yes, it's a QB competition, right? It is an open competition. Iron sharpens iron. But I think with Ashton trotting out there with the first team, I really feel like I said the other night, we can read the room. We can see the writing on the wall that I think at this point, Ashton Daniels uh, has to start. I think he has to start. Now, I've heard other folks say that they think Jackson should start or you should run a 2 QB system. I disagree. I feel like these players responded to Ashton Daniels. I feel like he was sharper. I feel like he had a calmness about him coming in the game, down 11 points. That's two possessions right there. There was no panic involved. I felt like he was in command of the huddle. I felt like he had some zip on the ball. There was a couple of throws that he let go, and I was like, "Hey, that was quicker than Jackson, right?" His decision making, like I said the other night, the ball to Singleton Jr. down the field, he let that thing fly and gave his wide receiver an opportunity to just go up and make a play, big dog. Go show off your skill set, what we brought you here to do. Go give him a chance and let it happen. I don't feel like Jackson even attempts that throw. I feel like Jackson probably takes a sack there. And so I really feel like the team responded to Ashton. And so you see him get the first team reps. And some people say that they looked similar in practice. The play calling looks similar. It's not. Hugh says that it's not really going to change. They're the same player pretty much. My thing with that is I want Auburn to ride the hot hand. And some may disagree with that. But this isn't the case of you starting a true freshman, right? This isn't the case of Deuce Knight coming on the bench, coming off the bench, I should say. And a lot of people are like, well, throw Deuce in there. And I'm like, okay, I would be a little hesitant on throwing Deuce in over Jackson just because I don't want Deuce thrown into the fire. We see in pass protection, this offensive line struggles a little bit. I don't want the confidence, since we talk about confidence so much at the Auburn quarterback position, I don't want Deuce to go in there and struggle. And then, it's hard. It's hard to throw him into the fire. And then if it's rocky, where do you go from there? But you have Ashton Daniels at QB2 who has played a lot of college football. I wanted to point this out to you right here. In 2022, he didn't get much playing time. 2023, he threw 135 passes. He had a 58% completion percentage. In 2024, he threw 271 passes with a 62.7% completion percentage. So he threw for 11 TDs in 23, threw for 10 in 2024, 8 INTs in 23, and 12 INTs in 2024. That's at Stanford also. Okay. Not a knock at Stanford. This is just clearly a more elevated roster at Auburn. You have better weapons. I think Auburn probably has the better offensive line. Like, I think there's more potential for Ashton Daniels to succeed at Auburn than he had at Stanford. And I think these playmakers at Auburn could make life easier on him. And I'm not saying he's going to go light it up. I'm just saying that you could probably see a little uptick in those numbers that I just mentioned right there for Ashton Daniels. So the way I look at it is, if you start Jackson and the same thing happens again, then what is this fan base going to say? What is the media going to say? They're like, man, you just can't give up on Jackson, can you? You just can't give up on Jackson. And what if Ashton has to bring you back again? What if you're losing to Kentucky and Ashton has to bring you back again? Are you still going into Vanderbilt, going into the bye week, going into Vanderbilt? Are you still going to rely on Jackson Arnold? I'm a firm believer in once it's when you pull the plug on a guy like that with Jackson, and a guy comes in behind him and he leads you to victory, and you were down 2 scores, he leads you all the way back to victory. And look, I know the defense had a hand in it, but like we said the other night, the offense still produced. They put up numbers. They put up points on the scoreboard. It might not have been touchdowns, but they got into scoring position and we capitalized. And I'll take that for a guy who was thrown in 40 seconds left in the first half. I'll take it. I just saw that, Thomas. I got it over here to my left, man, and I just saw that they just took the lead 7-6. So I do have Jack State money line. So that's a good thing for me. Got the Gamecocks on the money line. Big Charles Kelly guy. So I'm really just a believer in when you pull a guy and his backup comes in and wins a football game, brings you back down 2 scores, especially after Jackson threw the pick 6 and Jaden comes in and Ashton comes in and wins the game for you. I just think there's no going back to Jackson. I think that you're in such a tough spot because now, answer me this, chat. Answer me this. If you start Jackson, then what is going through Ashton's mind? I know he gets on the mic and he says, oh, well, I just want to do whatever it takes for this team to win football games. But in his mental, he's got to be saying, dude, I come into the game, we come back and won. You're not even going to start me? You're not even going to give me another shot? I don't know. I have a tough time believing that Jackson Arnold is starting the football game Saturday night in Jordan-Hare. And I'm dead serious about the other night when I said, I really think Auburn fans, if he trots out there and starts, I don't want it to happen because I don't wish that on Jackson, but I really do believe that Auburn fans just might boo him. They just might. Because this fan base is tired. It's tired. It hasn't been going well. We're the laughing stock right now, and we shouldn't be. There's too much talent on this roster. But that's where you're at. That's where you're at the quarterback position. Now, what are some things that can make Ashton successful? I think it's really the same way with Jackson, but I think Ashton is a little quicker with decision making. Get the ball out quick. Ashton will throw it over the middle of the field. He's not afraid to let it rip and throw it into tight windows. But get the ball out quick, run some screens, get the ball into Jeremiah Cobb's hands, and then take your shots. Take your shots to Singleton, and I think Cam Coleman's going to try to give it a go. I do. A lot of people are, worried about the ankle. Him coming back in the game last Saturday, that just showed me right there he hasn't given up. As much transfer portal this and transfer portal that talk has been going around. I think Cam Coleman is still locked in, man. But Another one is Perry Thompson. Perry Thompson is growing. I think he is finding himself in college football. I think he still has he still has areas to work on. Route running's not the best, which in high school, I've told y'all this a million times. He didn't really run a whole lot of routes. Like the route tree wasn't in his game at Foley. He was used in multiple ways, and so I really think he could be a key contributor this Saturday night. Give him his opportunities. Give him his 50-50 balls and let him go up and make a play. And I think that is the sole difference between the two is Ashton isn't afraid to let it rip and throw it into a spot where his guy can go make a play. Where I feel like Jackson was just so timid and he didn't want to mess up until he messed up. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he didn't want to throw the pick, but he ended up taking the sack. And you're like, dude, just throw it. Just throw it. And so I might be way off on this, and people might disagree. Let me know down in the comments. I just feel like your guy right now is Ashton Daniels. I feel like that football team responded. I feel like there was a spark, and I don't know how you pull the plug on that spark. Well, maybe I do, because Hugh Freeze, you never know what's going to happen there. But I don't know how you pull the plug on it. And that's what worries me. Do I think Auburn should cover the spread against Kentucky? Yes. I think Auburn should beat Kentucky by 17 to 21 points. I really do feel like that. I feel like Auburn should dominate Kentucky. I really think Auburn should dominate Kentucky. And I know a lot of people are like, well, how do you pull Jackson? I've heard this. How do you pull Jackson when he's led your offense down the field the first drive, the last 3 or 4 weeks? I'm like, what has he done after that? I'm sorry, what has he done after that? Once he gets off script, it's been bad. It's been bad. Maybe Ashton can do the same and then continue to move the football. I don't know how you take a guy out who come in and had multiple 50-plus yard drives to put Auburn in scoring position. And I don't think in the red zone is really Ashton's fault. I just think we have some of the worst play calling in the country when we get in that area. I just don't know how you turn back to 11. I think he's played his last snap, barring injury, at Auburn. That's just me. I know some disagree. Some let me know it on Twitter. And I wish him well, because I don't think he's going to be on the roster next year. I think they're probably going to part ways with him. And me particularly, if I was Jackson Arnold, I would probably step down a division. I would probably go the G5 route because it hasn't worked out at Oklahoma. It hasn't worked out at Auburn. And maybe it's time to, maybe go to a Jacksonville State or a South Alabama or, something like that. I just think the SEC might be a bit too fast for him. The confidence, the decision-making, the mental process of it might be a little too quick for him at the quarterback position. So I do think it's Ashton. So that's where we sit on that. Now, I did bring up Cam Coleman. Will he play Saturday? I think he's going to try to give it a go. I think he's still locked into this football team. I think he still cares about Auburn University. I talked to somebody that has been close to all the receivers. He's been close to a lot of kids on that football team. And he said that Cam Coleman absolutely loves Auburn University with all his heart. And so I just feel like the guy is going to be a team guy, and he's going to try to suit up, and he's going to try to see if he can make a play or two and put Auburn in a winning situation. And maybe it's a quarter. Maybe he gets on that ankle and says, hey, after a 50-50 ball, hey, I can't do it anymore. And I think then you turn to Perry Thompson. You have Malcolm Simmons out there. You still have Eric Singleton Jr. what I'm getting at here is Kentucky can't they can't stay with Auburn's receivers. They can't stay with Auburn's receivers. Now, I also think this is a terrible matchup for Kentucky because they can't stop the run either. So Jeremiah Cobb, Omar Mapson, Darrell Robinson. Can't wait to see what he looks like. Uh, this is a really, really bad matchup for Kentucky's defense. Is Hugh going to stick to running the football like he did last year against Kentucky? How does Kentucky's offense manage to score points on our defense? Yeah, they put up a whole hell of a lot last Saturday against Tennessee, but let's be honest, Tennessee's defense isn't up to par of what Auburn's defense is. Great play call. See that right there. If you're watching the Jack State game, that right there is what I want more of for Cobb. Man, you slip him out of the backfield right there on a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, when you know they're dialing up pressure, slipping Cobb out of the backfield. I think we ran it once against Arkansas last Saturday, but I want more of that from Cobb. Now, one thing about the whole should Jeremiah Cobb get 28 carries? 28 carries is a lot. I said that the other day is my number for him. I thought 19 wasn't enough. And I know Mapson's back, Robinson's back. I still think you have to give Jeremiah Cobb 22, 23, 24, 25 touches. Like he's that bell cow, man. He's that workhorse. He's as John Gruden used to say, the Gruden grinders. He's that guy for me. And so I still want to see Mapson and Robinson get some touches. But Jeremiah Cobb is that guy. Put the ball in your best player's hands, just like you did last year. And Jarquez Hunter going for almost 300 on Kentucky's defense. So that is what I like about this matchup Saturday. I think it is going to be a really, really tough. Hopefully the Auburn fans bring it. I'm sure they will. They always do. They never disappoint. Regardless of the record, we always are there to support Auburn. And we're always loud, man. So I hope this fan base shows up. They give us everything we got. And I'm really, really proud of the way they responded last Saturday with coming back. But I want to highlight a guy, Rayshawn Pleasant. I mentioned it on Twitter today. He's like one of the guys that I don't think he gets talked about enough, because how would this season really, really look if Rayshawn Pleasant does not return that kick at Baylor? They had just cut it to a 7-point lead. Now, did I think Baylor's defense was stopping Auburn? No. But it could have been a chance, man. They were playing with some momentum. I really feel like that kick return ripped their heart out. So you take that 98-yard kick return to the house to put you back up 2 scores. And then the pick 6 against Arkansas to put you in the lead Saturday. How would this season really, really look if Rayshawn Pleasant does not make those big-time plays for Auburn in crunch time? I think it would look a little different. Worse than what it does right now. Hugh Freeze might not even have a job. Rayshawn Pleasant has been that dude, though, man. What a pickup from Tulane. I think that's just one of the dudes where he's a grinder. You know, he's a guy that watches a lot of film. He works hard, tries to get on the field, stay on the field. He can help his team in multiple ways, win football games, and I'm impressed with Rayshawn Pleasant. So I wanted to shout him out tonight. He is sort of that I don't want to say middle of the way of the season, because we're past that, but he's that guy for me on this Auburn roster. Been impressed with him to come in and play and make big time plays. So I do want to talk about, it's still going around with Hugh Freeze. Is he coaching for his job? I just think that's a really dumb question, if we're being honest. I don't know why we're still asking that. Every game he's coaching for his job. We're past that point. So we get asked about it all the time, and it's like, well, is he? You think if he wins against Kentucky, is he going to get to keep his job like after the bye? I'm like, yeah, he's probably going to get to keep his job. It's going to come the next time he loses. I feel like. So if he loses Saturday night to Kentucky, he's out. If he loses after the bye week at Vanderbilt, he's out. I think where it could really turn and we stop asking this question for real is if he goes and beats Vanderbilt. Then I think Auburn has to take like a second look at things, and it could be slightly different next year. Could be slightly different. I feel like Auburn could say, hey, look, take your hands off of the offense, go hire a legitimate offensive coordinator like Spavital, like Spavital at Baylor. Get him in here, let him put his system in, and let's ride. You got Durkin at DC, Spavital at OC, and Hugh Freeze. You just be the head coach, dog. That's how I think Auburn might potentially look at it, with everybody saying all these jobs are coming open and there's going to be a bunch of fighting for who's the next coach here, who's the next head coach here. I think that's how it could potentially play out, is if Auburn goes and sneaks into Nashville, gets a dub, and they have some momentum going to the Iron Bowl. I think Auburn could go 7-5 and say, hey, look, we're just going to give you one more year, dog. But you got to take your hands off of the offense. You have to go get a guy, a well-known offensive coordinator, not some Derek Nix that he comes in and he's an offensive coordinator. You have to go get a legitimate play caller. And the first guy, like I just said, the first guy that I would pinpoint is Spavital at Baylor. I think he can cook it up with the best of them. Let him come in, implement his system, and you just get out of the way. Be the head coach, and that's it. So I still think there is a shot that he keeps his job. Small shot, but there is a shot that he keeps his job. So let's get over here to these comments, man. Appreciate y'all diving in here. Miss Karen says, War Damn Fam, how are we doing tonight? Appreciate you being here, as always. Thomas says, War Eagle, y'all. I love Daniel's running style, patient and twitchy. I do too, man. I do too. I think he's a bruiser too. I think he's not scared to lower the shoulder and absorb contact. I just needed a change of pace. If it doesn't work, they can always pivot back to Ja. Yeah, and I don't think here's a great point to that. The weakest link is I don't think Ja would be mad at that, because he did the same thing at Oklahoma. They had to pivot back, and Ja was ready. He went out and beat Alabama. So I don't think it would be as bad as you starting Jackson and then having to pivot again to Ashton, right? Because I think if you start Ja, then Ashton's like, man, and look, everybody's like, oh, well, he's team first. And he is team first, but let's be real. All athletes, I don't care who you are. If you were to go out, replace a guy, win the game, and then the next week you don't start, in the back of your mind, you're going to be going, man, how did I just bring us back to a dub? And then this week I ain't even starting. Come on. That's the competitiveness in athletes, man. Auburn Express says, howdy. What's up, brother? If we go 8-4, who do you think stays in the wide receiver core and who leaves? I think Malcolm would probably go. I think Malcolm would probably be the first guy. Cam, I don't know. I really just don't know about Cam. I don't. It was a night and day difference, or so it seemed, between Daniels and Arnold. Ashton let go of the ball much quicker and seemed more decisive. That is my whole thing. I went back and watched it, and Ashton he processed things a little bit quicker. He went through his reads. There was one play where I felt like he had his check down in the middle of the field, and he went to rip it, and he kind of hesitated. And then once the pressure got to him, he was like, okay, let me get there. And it could have been a little bigger gain if he would have ripped it the first time. But then he waited, and then he checked it back down, and it ended up getting like 3 or 4 yards where it could have gotten 6 or 7 yards. But I'm okay with that, man. Hit your check down. Live by the check down. I'm okay with that. Over or under Ashton throwing 200 yards against Kentucky if he starts? I would say over. I would say over. Kentucky isn't good. They're not good. And if he can't get over 200 yards, then we have a serious problem. Hugh will start Jackson. I think it's a possibility, man. Him not giving up on the thought and just coming out and saying, hey, Ashton's our QB1, that bothers me. I don't care what Auburn fans want to say. That's got to bother you. For him to just not even come out and him continuously just say it's an open competition. Come on, man. Come on. I think if Hugh goes with Ja and they start losing, he will lose a lot of his offensive players. Wow. That's a great way to look at it. It's a great way to look at it. War Damn Eagle Blake and fam, how you doing tonight, Auburn Dad? Glad you're in here, brother. Over under Perry 65 yards. If Cam doesn't play, I say over. If Cam does play, I say under. That's okay, Miss Connie. We're glad you're here. I don't know, Blake. Hugh continued to play Thorne last year. I just don't trust him. Well, the thing is I got to give Hugh credit here. He did go with Hank Brown. And in that game, Hank struggled. And then Peyton come in and was like the shot in the arm. And we were like, dude, that's all we got. Like, we got to roll with Peyton. Like, now we see that Peyton's playing because that's all we got, right? I think this situation's a little different. And I laid out at the beginning the football that Ashton has played in his career. So it's not like you're not putting in the guy that's green and he's brand new to the game. Ashton's not brand new to the game. And I think that's the angle we got to kind of look at it from. Oh, it's 100% Ashton for me Saturday. I don't see how it ain't. New life, new blood. I'm with you, Thomas. I'm 100% with you, brother. Me either caring at all to do anything. Man, Hugh. It's got to be better, brother. Oh, a little Texas route. It's got to be better, man. Wow, keep getting busted 5 stars outside of Cam and Bo Nix on offensive side. %, Connie. Let's see here. Josh should go to Georgia Tech if Key stays. Yeah. Talking about running the football. Cobb needs 20, 15 more between Robinson and Maps, and that's a 200-yard game easy. I'm with you, Thomas. I'm with you, man. I really like Jeremiah Cobb. I think he's great. Been saying it for a while, too. Mr. Brett, how are we doing? What's up, people? War Damn Eagle. Brett is in the house tonight. I think he's coaching to find another job. Okay. I think Ja would be better for Gus at JSU. Woo. Hugh is in the middle of a 7-day contract, and Saturday is a chance to get another extension. I put that on Facebook the other day, and like people just, I'm like, dude, calm down, man. And like it was a joke, I'm like, Hugh's going to end up beating Vandy in Alabama, and he's going to get a 4-year extension. And people were like, and I was like, hey, it was a joke. Calm down. Don't take it so hard. Oh, man. But that's how it goes. Give me Durkin or Summerall. It's going to be wild, man. The coaching search is going to be wild. I don't want Coach Hugh Freeze being made to do anything. It usually doesn't work. I mean, that's facts. What if he's made to not coach at anymore? Then I would be happier, a lot happier as time, Brett. I am with you, Connie, for sure. I think it's stale at this point. I think the fan base is out. And it's just hard to keep a guy. The only thing that could save him is beating Vandy and beating Bama. What's the sense in Hugh splitting first team reps between Ashton and Jackson? Shouldn't the guy that's going to be the starter get the majority of them? Oh, man. Remember when I said these players get paid, and they're getting paid handsomely, millions of dollars. So guess what that means, folks? Return of investment. There it is. ROI. Can't give up on him just yet. Still got to try to hammer in them first team reps. So if something goes bad, man, if it was me, Ashton would be getting every first team rep possible for chemistry, for him to get that connection with his wide receivers, throwing the ball out of the break, the timing routes, and everything like that. Man, Ashton would be getting every one of those reps. But I truly believe these universities can't give up on folks like they used to, because you were paying them dollars. And I'm not just talking about 10K. I'm talking about millions. And you can laugh at that take all you want to, but I'm telling you. Oh, 31. Jack State. Boy, what a hit. I love that. Boy, lowered the boom, cuz. No. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm on this Jack State game. I thought they were about to review this. They're going to check for targeting. Get out of here, man. This game sucks. Football is so soft, man. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Textbook football, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This isn't targeting. That's a clean hit. That is a man lowering the boom on you. But they're going to throw him out of the game because there was a little contact to the head area. What's the ROI on you when he's playing job because of that investment and we lose the rest of the games? Man, okay, no targeting. My buddy stays in. Let's go. Love to see it. I kind of laughed. I laugh at this comment, Brett, because it kind of makes me chuckle of when he said that about Damari. And he's like, oh, he didn't live up to the standards and the expectations of this program. And I'm like, crazy of you to say that, because you haven't either. If they want to keep Arnold fresh, let him run the scout team for reps. He's had enough reps with the ones to know the plays by now. It's all about execution. I'm with you, Thomas. I just think it's stale at this point to keep giving him first team reps. I think you saw it out of the offense last Saturday too. I think they responded well with Ashton. So crazy to me, some of the things that are said behind the mic. Crazy to me, some of the things that go down at Auburn University on that practice field. So just my opinion. I'm a nobody. He's a $7 million a year man. So I guess he gets to make the big shots, and, he knows way more about the game than I do. So here we are. Crazy to me, though. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, we were taught to use a helmet as a weapon. Don't play dirty, but hit them so hard they don't want to play anymore. And oh my God, is Jack State about to take this back? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, he tried to lateral it. Wait a minute, forward. He threw it forward. That's crazy too, is because like my dad always said, son, keep your head on a swivel. You better check your surroundings. If you're running in the open field, you better watch your block. You better watch your block. Even if you ain't nowhere near the play, you better watch yourself. And nowadays it's like, oh, an illegal blindside block. And I'm like, man, It is what it is. The game's changing. So I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining me. We'll be back this week. We'll do a deep dive into Kentucky and Auburn and what we think is the best possible chance for the Auburn Tigers to win Saturday. And how does Kentucky muster up enough offense on this Auburn defense? So we'll be here probably tomorrow night, maybe Friday. Uh, Probably not Friday because it's Halloween. So we'll probably do tomorrow. So I'll see y'all then. War Damn Eagle, as always. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. If you could, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it out on social media. Let me know how you feel about QB1 in the comments, man. I would really appreciate it. I'll try to get down there and comment back to you, and we can get to know each other a little bit and talk some Auburn sports. So basketball also is tomorrow night, right? I believe so. Memphis, maybe, if I'm correct, in Atlanta. I think that'll be pretty dope. So see y'all then. I'm out. War Damn. Love y'all.